Hello and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. I am your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I am joined by the founder of the Neca Illuminati, the YouTube wife, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar_Games. But that's not all. I am also joined by the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over, the man Optimus Prime popped and he still can't stop, the Twilight Knight, Nate.
Yes.
How are you guys doing
What
this
up?
week?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Nate. I just haven't had a long
you're
time
good.
to talk to you guys, and I missed you. I'm so happy to see you guys, kinda.
You can't kayfabe us. I saw your retweet quote. You do this show for with no one watched. You just sit here for 2 hours and talk to us if you could.
That's true. That's true. A little behind the scenes that's normally happens after we record.
Yeah, usually we sit there for 2 hours and just circle jerk each other. In case you were wondering. But the reason why Jarmar got so emotional is because this past week has been very eventful for us. First off, last week's episode has absolutely blown up. So thank everyone for who's been watching that. I have worked very hard to keep my promise of replying to all the comments. You have made it very difficult for me because there has been over 150 of you commenting, and I love it. Also, because of all that, we are now sitting at 1,100 subscribers. As of the time that we are recording this, we hit 1,000 on what I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I texted you guys. I can't remember at this point. And now we're at 1,100. It just keeps going. So thank everyone so much, new and old fans alike. Thank you. It really makes all this kind of even more worthwhile than just sitting around and talking to our friends about toys on the internet. So we really appreciate that. This week we are going to kind of ride the coattails of last week's episode a little bit, just because there's some things that we didn't really talk about for time purposes that I wanted to also discuss. And
like a true sequel. We're just gonna rehash.
We're just gonna rehash the magic that got us here before, because that's what kept the MCU alive for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
welcome to the Hangover 2.
Meanwhile, DC is over there fucking squandering all its potential trying to be original. So here we are. So welcome to Did Hasbro Make Us Stop Collecting Part 2? The thing I wanted to talk about is the difference between Hasbro's increases in price versus other companies, specifically higher end companies. Just because, higher end usually means more accessories, better quality, all the things that would, amount to that higher cost. And with the claims of, everything going on with Ukraine and everything with inflation and the pandemic being the excuse Hasbro's using for their sporadic pricing, I kind of wanted to compare and contrast. So I actually had to do some homework and do some math before we did this episode. So throw some numbers out here for you guys. As of right now, Marvel Legends pre-pandemic was $19.99. Their current price at retail for like Walmart and Target so far has maxed out at $24.99, but the new stuff for Fan Channel is coming through at $27.99 all the way up to $34.99 for an individual figure. Mind you, some of the figures, like the fantasy or Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, do come with a lot of accessories. They come with multiple hands, heads, and he comes with like the little underarm webs, like 2 different versions to get different poses and stuff. But most of them are the same old. You get like maybe an extra pair of hands, a head, so on and so forth. To compare, we've got Super 7, who pre-pandemic was at $44.99. Currently sits at $54.99. So real quick, back to Marvel Legends. Just the retail price at like Walmart, Target, so on and so forth is a 25% increase roughly. I don't want to go in the decimals. That's OnlyFigs' thing. We don't do decimals here on Modern Toy Fair.
Right.
For Super 7, it's a 22% increase, roughly. SH Figure Arts, now this one gets murky because their prices are all over the place to begin with. So I tried to compare based off the type of figure it was. They haven't really changed much at all. At most, there's been like a $5 increase. So I didn't even bother doing the percentage because even that $5 increase, you couldn't really tell, like compare and contrast to pre-pandemic numbers. Mafex, though, they had a little bit of a bump. They were pre-pandemic at usually around $84.99. They're another company that, based on what you get, it goes up and down. But they're for the most part, most of them that I found were $84.99. The current going price for a pre-order is $104.99, which is a 23% increase. And then I also did Storm Collectibles, who they're another company, figures in every direction, all different sizes. So what I went off of is the skeleton 2-packs, because that's something that I've purchased. So I know for a fact that pre-pandemic, that was at $59.99 is what I got my original skeleton 2-pack for. The most recent skeleton 2-pack that they released as a non-exclusive one, $74.99, which is a 24% increase. The only other company, which I didn't write down, is Mezco, and the only reason why I didn't is because their shit is just all over the place. They went from being usually $80 to $90 pre-pandemic to now they're anywhere from $100 to $180. So it was hard to kind of compare and contrast. So for the most part, across the board, everything's pretty close percentage wise. I will say though, Marvel Legends is still higher percentage just for the base price, and I even jumping to that $27.99 or $34.99 mark than any of the higher end figure lines. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on that, because the higher end lines, you get more accessories, better quality figures, less paint app issues, and they aren't seeing the hurt as much as Marvel Legends, who also, they make millions of figures a year, so their costs are much lower, versus the higher end lines are usually maybe a 10K cap, depending on how many get ordered. So their costs are way higher as well. So there's a lot that goes into this. So I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought, and then kind of just chat about all the different nonsense with the price increases.
I mean, I'm not surprised that Hasbro is still the highest. What surprises me, I guess, is that the other companies were still in the 20% range, because I guess I'm not really noticing the increase on those because they're already expensive. And I think I mentioned this last time. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'm not a big fan. It's just funny, to realize that something is as pricey as it is when you buy one. When you're buying a whole wave of something, if you're buying a whole wave of Marvel Legends, it's $150 or whatever. But when you buy one and it went from 20 to 25, you're like, damn, that's expensive. And so the same thing doesn't really happen to me when I buy one Super 7 figure, to go from 45 to 55. And that's, over the course of 2 years or whatever. I've been happy for the most part with what I've been getting from Super 7. Now, I make that caveat because they don't, I don't want to crack on them or rip on them or anything like that. But I look at how many pre-orders for Super 7 are out there currently, and how many that we've actually received. It's quite a bit. So for what I've received, I definitely feel like my money is still being put, is being well spent. I just got Thundercats Wave 4 a couple weeks ago. That was the most recent Super 7 thing I got.
Did they ever release Wave 3?
Wave 3 came out a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. It's Wave 2.
Wave 2, that's the one that no one's gotten. That's right. I knew there was one of the Thundercats waves that they skipped.
Yep. Yeah, Wave 3 was missing Chitara, which is still MIA, and then Wave 2 has just hit my pile of loot. It actually just hit yesterday. We're recording this on Wednesday, so it hit on Tuesday. So I may have them next week, although I doubt it. I already shipped a pile before that came in with just a couple things in it. It really wasn't much. I just was tired of it sitting there. I don't know why I do that, because immediately something went in there the next day that I ended up canceling, but it's fine. It's fine. But with Super 7, I definitely feel like I'm getting my money's worth. And the same with SH Figure Arts. So, which, by the way, I have 3 things from Premium Bandai that are arriving this weekend. I didn't even look them up because I want to be surprised.
That's impressive.
There's 3 different FedEx boxes at least coming to me on Saturday. But with those, I've been happy with those. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth with that. And that's where not to rehash what we talked about last week, but of course, let's just keep going to that. Well,
yeah, man. 8,000 views. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. I'm in my average, Hasbro purchase, and I have slowed down considerably. I bought one Doctor Strange figure. So far I went ahead and ordered 2 Thor figures that went up for sale on Tuesday on Amazon. I think
Ravager
I get them
Thor
Friday or
and Lady
Saturday.
Thor?
Yep. Well, which one's Ravager Thor?
That's him in the vest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 I ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, I figured.
You got it. Yep. I think at some point, I might get Gore, if he's a really cool character or whatever like that. But that's the thing. I'm slowing way down. Buying whole waves is kind of out the door right now, or at least at one time. I just got one Star Wars Black Series figure that I'll talk about later on when we do our OnlyFigs, which is every week, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on Twitch. But we're just getting so much less for our money there.
Mm-hmm.
The accessories, you get 1, maybe 2. Or there's, when Star Wars Black first launched, you got multiple hands. You got, I remember the original Darth Maul came with a whole other version of him. Like, you got the regular cool Darth Maul, but then you had an extra cloak
that
came over it with a different, face thing so you could do both versions. The X-Wing Luke came with a bunch of stuff, came with extra hands. R2-D2 came with a whole decked out, array of attachments that you could put on it. We don't get that stuff. We have not gotten that stuff in years. So
that's why they're doing the price increases, because they fucking blew all their load getting the line off the ground.
Yeah, but that was in 2012. So that's been 10 years.
Hey man, Netflix has been digging out their way out of the hole for 2 decades.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of dumb shit on Netflix. But anyway, interestingly enough, I don't want to catch you off guard if you didn't look, but I don't believe that McFarlane has done any type of price increase.
I was going to bring that up. McFarlane has not,
okay.
And he has not announced any price increases either. They are still sitting at that $20 mark, and then $30 for the larger Build-A-Figure lines, and then the mega figures vary just because some of them are slightly bigger, some of them are massive. You're getting your money's worth.
Generally about $40.
Yeah, they're 40 to 60, I think is the most I've seen.
Okay, so just for instance, this week I saw the Titan Joker, and I saw the Golgothan shit monster.
Monster?
That's what I guess it's Clayface.
Clayface. I was like, are you talking about Clayface?
You said it so confidently.
He did. I was just like, is this a Spawn thing?
I was like, shit.
Well, no, nobody's. Apparently, you guys haven't seen Dogma in a really long time. But
no, it's been a very long time.
Yeah. That's the actual creature in that movie, the Golgothan shit monster, and that's what it looks like to me. But it is awesome. It's a great figure, but it's $40, and I was like, you know what? $40. I just had gotten and then returned the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange, the Defender Strange, that came with a figure and that wheel or the portal accessory for $33.99. So $6 more. And I get a giant poop monster or a weird Joker that I don't know what it is, but he's cool. So that right there, I hate to give ammunition to some of the naysayers because I am a Hasbro buyer. I'm more interested in the properties that they have. McFarlane, I've definitely had my issues with. So, but I got to give them props for keeping, for towing that line. Now, I would expect a price increase, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
Oh no, he's gonna do this just to fucking twist the knife.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see him losing profit more just to stick it to the bigger companies.
Oh yeah, especially with as excited as he was about the whole I'm the largest selling retail line or whatever last year, he's gonna fucking ride this train till the hype dies.
Well, no, I also feel like he kind of has to. He's oh yeah, remember? Yeah, let's talk about them. Let's not remember anything that happened in the past few weeks for me. So,
right.
That would be a smart move.
Yeah, he's like, finally, someone's pissed at someone, not me.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any like numbers and figures for NECA?
I can crunch those numbers real quick for you. I debate on doing it, but NECA went up a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they have probably increased the most because their ultimate figures are almost $40.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So let's do.
And because I only usually buy one at a time, because it's like $36.99, and I remember they weren't ultimates back then, but I remember paying like $16.99 for a regular NECA figure. And that's been a while. I mean, Toys R Us was still around, but I think that regular ultimate figures kind of started out around $24.99.
I do know
is what
beginning of the pandemic when they had like Krang and stuff, those were $29.99. So that's what we'll go by because that was at least their base at the time. So let's go with the 25%. See, so
you talk about the Krang like for the ultimate.
Yeah, the ultimate Krang.
Yeah,
that was in 39.
It was either 29 or it was either 29 or 34.
Oh,
it was one of the two.
That one was 40. I thought
Metalhead was $29.99 for sure. So we'll use that. I think Krang might have been 35. None of them had hit 40 prior.
One. Okay. I just remember that one being a little bit more, kind of being taken off guard.
All right, so let's see. So that's nice. Because right now they are sitting at what, 36 or 37.99 depending on what you get.
Yeah. $36.99 is what I'm aware of.
Well, I'll tell you right now, their inflation is less than Hasbro already because
once you said it out loud, but then you go to like the 2-packs though.
Well, the 2-packs, I mean, those are increasing the same.
Iffy because
go ahead.
Because they used to be like $51.99, but that's when you were like getting like 2 turtles.
Yeah.
And or a turtle and a foot soldier or something like that. Now like something like this, I would not expect this to be that same price.
I'd expect that to maybe be 60.
Yeah. So like that's kind of tough to tell. I also just wanted to show off that I still haven't opened this because I just I mean, I need to be done with this line. So, and I for the most part.
Okay, so the official percentage with no decimals is going to be 23%.
Okay, so still below Hasbro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
this is again only on Hasbro's retail.
Yeah, that's not including fan channel. Like, so let's figure out the math real quick for fan channel. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do the $27.99 mark. Would probably be, I'm assuming, 27%. We'll say. So let's go $19.99 plus. There's probably a much easier way to do this math problem, but I'm not good at it, so I'm just kind of doing plus percentages and hoping that it comes out to around where I need it to be.
Oh, you're not going the opposite way.
No, I'm not going backwards because I honestly don't know how to do that offhand. I might knew how to 10 years ago, but not anymore. Plus, oh man, just the $27.99 mark is, whew. Okay, so the $27.99 mark is over 30% so far.
Wow.
So
what do you think then is the reason that most of imports? Because I can't. First of all, I can't believe you have me on this show. I'm your YouTube wife, and you absolutely forget one of the most important import lines of my life, and it's Nendoroids by Good Smile. Because I will say, like, prices really have kind of been about the same, maybe the same thing, maybe $5 to $10 depending on like the figure, if it's DX or whatnot, if you're getting everything with it. What's stopping these imports from not having as dramatic of an increase? Are we thinking it's just asshole Hasbro, or is it like an actual real economical reason for the change?
I think, and I'll defer this to Michael, but I think Hasbro can get away with this. Their hubris right now is pretty ridiculous.
I think they can get away with this.
Right. And here's the part that really really sticks me. And I read an article today, and it really got to me because I feel like this is a no-win situation. So, vintage collection Star Wars, if it goes to plastic-free packaging, not even a price increase. We're not even talking price increases, which are probably coming anyway. They haven't really said. They've been kind of sitting at the $12.99 range, but
we did get
also
some
about
comments
$14.99
of someone saying that somewhere they read that Black Series and Vintage are going up. Vintage is going to be $20. Black Series is going to be $30, and then also GI Joe is going to go up to $30. I wasn't able to confirm that anywhere, but I saw a few people claim that in the comments.
I heard that as well. Also, there was a live stream and pre-orders that went up this week for GI Joe that they're still at $24.99. So I don't know if that's not far enough along, but they are March of next year. So
yeah,
but who knows? Like, I also received an item that was supposed to be January of next year, and I already have it.
Which
so,
I do want to give Hasbro this at least. They are doing a great job of the under promise over deliver when it comes to release dates.
Right.
They're shitting the bed on everything else, but at least they're like, hey, it's coming out next year, and then it comes out 3 months later, and you're like, oh, I got my toy early, and it kind of gives you that false sense of excitement and like out of it.
False sense of excitement. Could that be it? That they're like actually hitting their shipping dates or early? Because I think that's one of the things that have been like grossly overlooked is shipping. Like with all these companies we mentioned, we're barely getting things out. Like we pre-order something, it's about a year away automatically for pretty much everything. And the fact that they're hitting dates and, like you said, under promising over delivering, that could be just supply chain, that they're spending more money to get these things out faster.
At that point,
because of the strangeness of retail.
At that point, they need to leave that up to the community. They need to ask the community, hey, is this something that you would be interested in if we charge a little more to get things faster?
The problem there is you just said we're going to ask the community, and that's never a good idea.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't just assume that getting toys to people faster is going to suddenly make everything okay for you to charge more. Is my point.
Right. So, with what I was saying there, vintage collection specifically, if they would go to plastic-free packaging, which I'm not so sure they're going to on that, but that's a whole nother topic for another time. But if they do, they could be losing, like I saw this poll that was done, and they could be losing up to 60% of their customer base, which basically means then the line will die.
Oh yeah.
Like it won't survive that. And that's a bummer. So that right there is a huge part of it. They have decided they're doing this plastic free. No other I read a comment in another article. They're like, well, what is Mattel and what was another company they mentioned? Neca gonna do for this? Well, it's not every company has to reduce their plastic usage. This is something that Hasbro has decided, even though,
I'm just gonna throw this out here as just like an outside industry that has made a change that was initially looked at as controversial and insane, but every other company has went along with it. And the company's Apple. They removed the wall adapter from the phone. So you buy a phone, you get a cable, you don't get a wall adapter. For a year, people called Apple crazy, everything out under the sun. And now every single manufacturer for their high-end phones, except maybe one, has now taken the wall adapter out of the box. I'm talking Google. Google the Pixel 6 does not come with it.
I said maybe the newest one, but my Pixel came with it.
So everything in the past year has been doing this. So the Pixel 6 doesn't have it. All of Samsung's devices, including some of their low-end phones, don't have it in there. So it's easy for something to be like this, company out of the norm is doing it, and it's like, they're crazy. No one else is going to do that, surely. And then all it takes is that one domino to kind of get.
But you need to have something on the other end of it. So you can get rid of a wall charger because fucking cars now come with wireless chargers for your phone.
Fair.
Okay.
And realistically, you can make that $20 extra now because someone who wants a wall adapter that bad has to go and buy one.
Well, that's everyone's thought, is they are only doing this to make more money, which they kind of are. If you buy an iPhone and you never had one, now you got to pay an extra $20 on top of that price. So I'm more so looking at it from the idea that this is something, the plastic free is like, yeah, this could be driving the rest of the industry into being like, shit, they did it and they caught some blowback, but
I don't.
I mean, we'll have to see how it
we'll
pans
keep
out. Like,
seeing,
we
yeah.
ultimately can only go from this part, and we're all like, no, maybe
Right.
you know, the plastic free
Next year.
boxes are going to be the greatest thing of all time. They're going to blow everyone away. They're
Oh no,
gonna be
it'll
the
still
coolest
suck.
thing. It seems like I don't see how it's going to be a positive. Only
Yeah.
my issue with it, even going back to last week, because again, we're just
I wasn't
circling
here,
back.
so it's like the
Yeah,
recap
Jarmar
Yeah.
was here. We added a new cast member to this one. It's a whole thing. I kind of forgot my point, but now I have to bring it back. Oh, plastic packaging just doesn't, to me, seem like we really need to tackle single-use like food items first, because that is the real problem here. Okay, the
Paper
plastic
towels.
As I'm drinking from
plastic
the
on
water bottle.
right, my plastic
I
vintage
refilled
collection.
this, by the way.
This is never like, this is part of the product for me.
So
Like,
correct.
this plastic is, to me, this is all together. This
there
is
was
the
an
product.
interesting comment that we got in last week's video that I responded to that actually kind of ties into that. How would you feel if Hasbro went two different directions? They went and decided, hey, if you want to pay the ridiculous premium price, you can have your fancy on-card version. Or if you want to pay the like a slightly cheaper price, you can get it in just the little cardboard box that the Army Builder figures come in.
Would love it, because I would get
that.
all the things that I open, Black Series, Marvel Legends. I guess those are the only two that I really. G.I. Joe Classified. I would take all of those in a box. You know, if I got that direct from them, though, again, and that's back to the point with the swapping and everything. But vintage collection, yeah, I would pay more to get it on the card with my plastic bubble.
I think that's the solution, because you ultimately that gets your goal of no plastic being like thrown out, because if someone's going to pay the extra to get it on card, they're not throwing it away. It's going on their wall, in a closet, in a bin, however the fuck you do your mint on card collecting. It's not.
I sew them onto sweatshirts and I wear them.
That actually sounds like a you should start
terrible idea. What do you mean?
You should start an Etsy shop.
Yeah, got little hooks on them, and you just like pin your mint on card.
I like it. I like it.
He walked into my store and it was just like,
yeah,
click clank, click clank.
What is this?
But yeah, it solves all the problems. You get the people who don't care about the stuff to order directly from you. They get their figure. You eliminate all the extra plastic you don't need, because then they can also do kind of like they do with the Fortnite figures, where everything's wrapped in paper instead of being, wrapped in plastic in the box itself. And then you have the people who are on card who get their plastic and it doesn't go anywhere.
It's a wonderful compromise that they won't do.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just saying, like, that is your solution to the problem, and that is the way that you appease everybody while still doing what's right for the environment. And it does actually better for everything than this option does, because now you have zero chance of it, going to waste, versus just being like, we're gonna make a box and then we're gonna lose a bunch of sales, and then we're probably gonna go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's just funny that we've given them a solution to charge us more money.
Which is fine, because whole episode's supposed to be about complaining about prices, but now we're like, charge us more just to get done with this bullshit.
I can't believe they went up 30%.
Charge us more.
But God, that could be an interesting solution for just like all the companies around, to give you like almost like a graded version. You know what I mean? And that's like your
you get your premium like mint on card version. So it's the best solution that I've seen so far, and it's not going to happen, just because no corporation is that intelligent.
No, we've solved global warming.
Yeah,
that easy.
Our job here is done.
Yeah, you're welcome, world. We've saved you from the apocalypse.
Ooh, I just got a notification that the new review is up.
Oh yeah, that's like 15 minutes early. That's weird.
Listen, I don't know. My phone blew up. My iPad blew up.
Oh, so yeah. Granted, it's 2 days late. Because this is gonna air on
go watch
Friday.
it.
Go watch my review of the Lightning Collection Morph Shredder, which is a couple weeks late because the 2-pack reviews performed so poorly that I decided to go and review a few other things first.
That's awesome. You were able to get yours and review it before mine has even reviewed.
I was able to get yours,
No,
review 6 other figures, and then review it before you got yours.
This is for the Batmobile.
Oh, that's been up for a week, bro.
That's just
Why
the
did I
algorithm
get that
working.
now?
I don't know.
Like, it literally says now.
I don't. Yeah, that's been up since last week.
I was gonna say, I thought that was the case.
Yeah, because I put it up
like,
because I assumed we were gonna hopefully be able to do OnlyFigs last week, and then everything just went to shit, so we didn't. But yeah, that's been up for about a week now. So yeah, if you are new to the channel and you have decided to watch this episode as well, since we're riding the coattails of last week, go check out the reviews. Yeah. They're decent. I get a lot of compliments on them. So people seem to enjoy them.
Amazing, man.
The photos are the best
great.
part.
They're really well done. The photos are great. I will put a slight disclaimer on them. I am not in any of them, so
True. I mean, I'm still not convinced.
Go with that.
Here's the thing.
I think that you were the reason that last week's episode went so well.
I was gonna say I'll make a positive note on there. I'm also not in the reviews. Just in case.
Just in case that was the thing. They're like, bald white man with a beard is where the money's at. Everything else needs to go away. I've got bad news. If nothing else, you don't have to see my face, but my voice is in the reviews. But you can watch them on mute if you really want to.
I also have more bad news. There's also a lot of bald guys with beards talking about toys on the internet. So I don't. Maybe they thought we were someone else, and
maybe they thought you were Pixel Dan.
Maybe
they got real excited and they're like, "Wow."
He's not bald.
I mean, he's got the mohawk though, and he keeps it short, so he looks bald half the time. At the right angle, you couldn't tell.
You're right.
I know it's been a week since I talked with you guys or spoke with you guys. But when you said that there's bad news, there's a lot of balls. I was gonna say, man, I haven't watched a review for Michael in a while. I thought you were gonna say there's a lot of balls, and that explains why you're not getting so many views anymore.
He just lays his
balls. I just lay my balls all right next to the figure for size comparison.
Bald guys.
It's comparison time.
And next. Let's see what else is going on.
Oh my god, this has gotten way off the rails. Fuck.
This is if you are joining us again from last week, this is the fun. It goes off the rails quick.
Oh yeah.
Efficiently and just
and tastefully. I would say very tasteful.
Tasteful's
very,
a strong
very
word.
not tastefully.
An acquired taste.
An acquired taste
like
indeed.
Balls.
Yes, like balls and ooh.
No.
But yeah, so ultimately, it really baffles me the difference in the price increases. Oh, I never got back to Neca. Neca's
oh yes.
No, we did do Neca's. It was the premium Hasbro percentages. So the $27.99 mark is about a roughly, I think it came out to like 50% increase. The $34.99 mark came out to 75% increase.
Wow.
And you're not getting like a drastic amount more because it was the Iron Spider, which is pretty much just the Iron Spider you got before with, I think, new articulation. So, I mean, great for that.
Well, we've never gotten this. We haven't gotten the comic version before.
I thought we did.
From Hasbro did one at the very beginning, which was a long time ago, like more than 10 years.
Just because they released a shitty one doesn't mean they haven't released it before.
That's true. That's true. You're right. You're right.
But still,
okay,
to be like, hey, we improved it dramatically, but didn't give you any extra items. Here it is for 75% more than what you would have paid 2 years ago. That's absurd.
Yeah. It'll also be interesting because this is from what I can tell, this Spider-Man assortment is this year's like anniversary wave. Like, so last year they did an MCU series. The year before they did the Fox anniversary. They did the 80th anniversary stuff. So those are always a little more expensive.
Usually they went from like the $20 to $25 range,
right?
Not 20 to 30.
And then some of the 2-packs, depending on their
Mhm.
size, like the Colossus Juggernaut one, I believe was $60 or something
Yeah.
like that, because they were both really big figures. So I will be interested to see what happens with like a regular Build-A-Figure line. So, because the only thing that we know of, there was that wave. Oh man, I don't remember any of the figures that are in it. But they did reveal a wave a while back of comic figures, and couldn't tell you who was the Build-A-Figure, couldn't tell you who was in them. But I will be interested to see what kind of, if they're in the plastic-free packaging, if they're going to stay at $24.99, and what wave beyond that. Because we did get an immediate wave dropped in our lap with the Thor Love and Thunder wave that they basically had ready to go. They actually was successful at getting it out. Well, they're getting it out about 3 months ahead of the movie, which I guess is
Well,
on
they was
par,
also
but at
not
least they're
supposed
getting
to
it.
because Walmart got a cease and
Well,
desist over it.
but they were dated for this past Tuesday, so the 26th of April. So they are now officially out. So that wave was kind of a secret one, but we don't know. I don't think we know of any other waves besides this one that I'm talking about that I don't remember any of. And then this Spider-Man anniversary wave.
Yeah.
So once the next wave,
they have. Don't they
announced,
have the one with the, not the X-Force, but the like ragtag group from X-Men with the dude that's half dude, half tank? I can't remember what they're called.
Yes. Has that gone up for pre-order yet?
I don't know if it's gone up for pre-order.
Or did they just announce it?
I think they announced it. I don't think it's gone up for pre-order yet, but we do know of that one at least, because that
Okay.
one had like a handful of figures. I think that also has like a new Wolverine and then some other characters from that like comic book.
Okay.
Also, I don't think we ever answered Jamar's question of why do we think that the overseas companies or the high-end companies in general aren't being, quite as hit as hard, or at least aren't charging as much. Me personally, because I can't imagine it's really gonna do anything with the shipping process, because I'll tell you right now, my prices that I did my math on were all based on American e-retailers. They were not like Ami or any of the places, because Ami, I get stuff cheaper than I do on Big Bad Toy Store because I'm getting it directly from Japan. So it's not that. I think it. I really think Hasbro had been trying to figure out how they can do this like innovational, like let's go green initiative and be the first to do it and look great, blah blah blah, stuff. Which I'm all for. Let's attempt to fix the environment before this ball of dirt turns into a ball of fire. But I don't think they're doing it for that. I think they're doing it to save themselves money, get the clout that comes along with it, and then ride off in the sunset. But they knew from the get-go they're going to lose people solely on the fact that they are going with no plastic window at all. Because they, like, even if it's only 30% of their collectors are mint on card collectors, that's still 30% of your base that might be leaving your line. So you're going to try to offset that by raising the prices enough that it doesn't hurt you going forward.
So I have a question for you guys and what you guys think. So we all kind of predict somewhat that this is going to be a colossal misfire, but they also, really, kind of help themselves out by putting out a pretty banger of a wave with Spider-Man, which is one of the more popular ones. So, do you feel, let's just say hypothetical situation, plasticless packaging goes on for a year, okay? It does horrible in the regular lines. They revert back to some kind of, open box in some way. Do those closed box ones that didn't sell and then disappeared, do those then go up in value?
That's something I don't. It's hard to say, because I think the eBay market is going to get hit really hard with this, because people are going to be significantly more cautious about buying third party without the window, because even the person who's buying it and trying to scalp it has no idea what's inside.
The person who's selling it, you mean?
Yeah. So I really I think if you take the figure out of the box and show in your listing this is the actual thing, there's a good chance that you will get a higher price just because at that point the figure, like most Marvel Legends, is retired. It's, you know, they have it until they redo it again. It's you know, if you missed it, you missed it kind of deal.
Right.
But I don't think the like boxes themselves will increase the value at all.
Okay.
I'm kind of the opposite. I feel like if it is a crash and burn situation, which although I think I disagree with you guys on like the longevity of this, I think if one company gets away with it, we'll see a landslide of everyone
I don't
else.
think that I don't think Hasbro is going to go back on it because they've stuck with it with Transformers. Grand Transformers, you know, collectors
A little bit, yeah.
don't really seem to be quite as angry. I had a few people comment last week who were Transformers collectors, like, oh, no one cared when it was Transformers. Now it's your precious Marvel Legends. It's the end of the world. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really hear anyone complain when it was Transformers, so that's news to me.
And also there was, I mean, the only closed boxes on Transformers were the more expensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, because even now the $25 and under are still open box.
Yeah,
you can still see what's in
you can
there.
go,
Yeah, the plastic or the packaging is flimsier, but also, me personally, someone who does buy Transformers, I don't understand the idea of an inbox Transformers collector. You got to get that shit out and transform it. Like that's the whole
yeah, because
point.
there's so much more like engineering going into that versus a Marvel Legends figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. I don't think Hasbro's going to go backwards. I think they might like cut a hole in the box so you can see it, but that's going to be the extent of it. I don't see them going back to the current packaging that we see now on the shelves. However, I also don't see any other toy company giving a shit because at the end of the day, the high-end ones never follow the trends of retailer figures.
That's fair.
Todd's a crazy motherfucker. He'll do whatever the hell he wants. He'll make the entire fucking thing plastic just to offset and be like, no, I'm gonna watch the world burn and with all my figures. And
he'll make packaging out of butterfly wings.
Yeah. No, let's get it right. He'd do it out of fucking bee wings just so he could make those motherfuckers extinct.
Yeah.
And Mattel's a fucking shit show, so they aren't going to follow anyone unless it's going to really increase their profits. So I don't see Hasbro going back, but I don't see anyone else following suit unless something comes from a government level of them saying, hey, we're going to give you a huge tax cut if you go this route like Hasbro did. Then I could see them doing it. But if there's not like a huge chunk of change involved in it, most of them don't give a shit what Hasbro does. Hasbro owns 2/3 of the fucking toy aisle. Those other companies aren't trying to compete with Hasbro.
Right.
We'll put a pin in that.
We will.
I'm going to be curious.
We'll revisit for episode 3 of this series of trying to get as much views as possible.
Can we do the Hangover 3?
No, we will not be doing that unless Hasbro continues to shit the beds in some other way. Because next week, I am going to announce it. If you've made it this long in the show, next week is going to be a very special episode where we are going to discuss amongst ourselves the past 2 years of Toy Fair and what led us to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to reminisce about, all the things we've done, the things that went well, the things that definitely did not go well, and kind of just recap and reminisce and enjoy the moment of hitting 1,000. Hopefully that doesn't make you not tune in next week because it's still going to get ridiculous, and we're going to talk about measuring action figures with testicles.
I was like, we didn't have that hasn't happened yet.
I mean, if you're new, I mean, this is what we would call a perfect jumping on point, because we're going to do a recap of sorts, or
I'm going to go
bring
through.
you up to speed.
I'm going to go through
Everyone
an
loves
attempt
the
to
recap
they do.
TV series.
It's always the most highly rated one. But yeah, I'm going to go try to do some research throughout the channel and figure out like when certain events happened, so I have like a decent timeline of things, and then we'll just we'll go through a lot of our inside jokes that you may not get because you're new to the channel, and kind of explain where those came from, and it's just going to be a good starting off point. And of course, the channel's here. I'm not deleting any of the videos. You're welcome to go back through the hundreds of hours of content we have here on the channel. I encourage you to do it, because some of it is great and some of it is real bad. But either way, like, I'm not gonna say no if you want to spend some time watching. Yeah, most of it. We've had some real stinkers, but that's going to be it for this week's episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out here on the channel. Let us know once again in the comments below. I'm going to fucking continue to answer all of your comments, no matter if there's 15 of you or 1,500 of you commenting. I'm gonna fucking do it. No other fucking YouTuber can say they do that when they get a lot of comments. So come at me, bro. At me down below in the comments. Let's talk about what you think with the Hasbro pricing versus everyone else. Give me your reasons why you think it. If you just think Hasbro's a bunch of fucking pricks who are greedy, or if you think that it is legitimate cost issues, let us know. Follow us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Modern Toy Fair. Check out Wednesday Night OnlyFigs on twitch.tv/Modern Toy Fair. Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out Jarmar_games over on twitch.tv/Jamar_games, where he occasionally streams Elder Ring now. And Elder Ring. And also occasionally Apex. And you can also check out his YouTube channel, Why Are You a Gamer, where you can see some clips, and hopefully eventually season 1 of Why Are You a Gamer will be up there. But if you don't want to wait for that, you can check it out on all major podcast platforms. And Nate, what do you got for us this week?
We got a new podcast coming out this week. It's called Hunged Over, and we are actually going to go minute by minute and look at each of the Hangover movies at exactly the same time. So like Star Wars Minute or Back to the Future Minute, except we're going to look at minute 1 of Hangover 1, 2, and 3 at the same time, and then and so forth.
All right.
Hung over.
Yeah, hungover. I thought it was going to be a dick joke because hung.
Yeah.
But then
that seems like a better idea.
I'm glad I can always help improve your podcasts.
Look, you got to understand, I come up with these literally on the spot.
Oh,
and
yeah, it's that's what workshop is for.
Sometimes they don't go out like they should, you know? Oh, well.
Hey,
what are you
everyone
going
has
to do?
ED from time to time.
What are you going to do?
Be ashamed of.
Yes.
But
yes.
That's going to be it for this week's episode. Hopefully we will see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.